just a bit of background around the portfolio itself. So traditionally, this process would start, the process of the strategic review would start at the beginning of the year, and where the company would have their business plan and agree upon projects and best way to align it with their strategy, and then allocate a budget. And the various projects would just get on and carry on this project. And this would happen just once a year. And they would then stick to this plan throughout the year. The basic assumption is that the business conditions and priorities remain relatively static throughout the year, and that projects are completed on time and on budget. However, this traditional approach to prioritizing and funding simply doesn't work in a fast-paced business environment, because we find ourselves always having to reprioritize projects as the market changes. So, for example, when lockdown happened, a lot of the projects that were in flight had to be revisited and reprioritized because there were different needs from our customers. So for example, we just launched a working from home function within the website because that was in high demand, because people wanted to work remotely, either because they're self-isolating, they're shielding, or they've realized that having worked from home for a while, they just want to search for remote working jobs and don't want to travel to the office anymore. So it was in high demand, which came in at the point where other projects were in flight. But because we have this continuous way of revisiting and reprioritizing projects based on the demands of the market, this initiative had to be brought forward, and other projects or work that was in progress had to be put on hold. So, and that's why I've said that in most cases, having this one review at the beginning of the year and setting up projects and hoping that that would be what the teams would work on, or what the organization would work on for the rest of the year, really doesn't work, because it doesn't give the organization that amount of flexibility to be able to adapt quickly and reprioritize when needed. So this is where the Agile Portfolio Management comes in, because it gives a holistic view and it gives that visibility of what is happening and what the company or the project teams or the delivery teams are being worked on. And this concept originated as in the IT space, with multiple competing initiatives within a portfolio, and then having limited resources, both in terms of personnel and funding. And then the rapidly changing technology as well often rendered some projects obsolete before completion. But then if there's not a way of being able to bring that visibility to reprioritizing, then that means that projects get stopped and started without any justification or a way in which it's being made visible to the rest of the organization, so that there will be that communication flow. So the portfolio, therefore, is a collection of projects and programs and operations managed as a group to achieve the strategic objectives. And the application of portfolio management principles to align with the portfolio and its components with it's done to achieve the organizational strategy. But portfolio management can also be viewed as a dynamic activity through which an organization invests its resources to achieve a strategic objectives by identifying, categorizing, monitoring, and evaluating, and all that good stuff to be able to achieve its strategic objectives that were set. So in most cases, whilst most organizations need to maintain their annual planning cycles for broader financial context, individual components within the portfolio structure can be driven by organizational strategies as well as capabilities as well. So it's not just the strategy, it's having the right resources to be able to deliver this strategy at a time where the organization needs it as well. And the programs and projects within the portfolio need to be identified and categorized and reprioritized periodically. So there's no set time to do this, but we tend to do this every period, or at the end of every quarter. Sorry, not every period, but at the end of every quarter. So we look at what's in flight, what do we need to do, what are the new things that are coming up in the roadmap, do we need to stop anything, what's the value that we've gotten from the work that we are doing, are these projects things that we need to continue working on, what portfolio do they fall under, have they delivered to the right values or the right outcomes that we set at the beginning of the quarter, and then we'll reprioritize them to be able to deliver more valuable work if they deem if those projects are terminated.